Hello, everybody. Lobotomized Logan here, and I'll be going over my Switch 2 predictions and wish list. I got a Switch 1 on launch, and I'm probably going to get a Switch 2 on launch, assuming I can secure a pre-order. But let's get into it. First, I'm going to get into game predictions. My first game prediction is going to be a new 3D Mario game. Whether that's in the same vein as Odyssey or something like 3D World, I think it'll lean towards Odyssey being a collectathon platformer with open levels, and I think it'll launch between October and December. I don't think it'll be a straight sequel to Odyssey since it's been so long, but I believe next up we're going to get a mature action RPG from Monolith Soft. They were hiring postings for it back in 2017, and maybe it's like a metaphor situation where they've been working on it all this time and they've just waited for the Switch 2's power to do it, but I'm not sure. I think if we do get a trailer, it'll probably release between December of 2025 and March 2026. They really like hitting that winter slot, but we just got Xenoblade X, so I'm not sure. My next prediction is they're going to showcase a new FPS IP, and I believe this because of the mouse functionality, unless they just put multiplayer on Metroid Prime 4, but I really think they're going to want to hammer home that mouse functionality in like a competitive shooter. But that's about it for first-party stuff. For third-party, I believe we're going to get Cyberpunk 2077 because The Witcher 3 did pretty well, Final Fantasy because Square Enix has been talking about wanting to do more third-party stuff, and then Borderlands 4 because Gearbox put the entire Borderlands series on the Switch 1, so I don't think it's too far-fetched to say we might get Borderlands 4 on Switch 2 when it releases. Not only that, I also believe we're going to get some Microsoft titles like Call of Duty and Halo because they're going to want to support it, and the court document said they have to put Call of Duty on Switch for 10 years. Backwards compatibility is pretty simple. I think if it is a game from first-party Nintendo, it'll have an auto patch. If it has unlocked FPS or resolution, it'll automatically benefit due to the higher clock speeds, and then I believe we'll get cross-gen games after launch from Nintendo. But that's about it for back compat. As for screen predictions, it's definitely going to be 1080p. It's 2025, I'm 100% sure. 120 Hz in VRR. 120 Hz, I can only see them doing it if it's going to run indie games at 120 FPS and then lock most first party at 40 FPS like the Steam Deck. And then there's no way we get VRR. I don't see it happening. Next up is system specs. For system specs, I believe we're going to get 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, an 8nm chipset with 1.5 to 3 hours battery life, and Hall effect joysticks. Also, I think DLSS is going to be heavily utilized so that next generation games and this generation games can come over and have decent battery life and decent resolution. But that's about it. I don't think Nintendo will go lower than 12 gigs. They don't want to repeat the Switch 1 where some games were memory bound. They want to have a good foot in the door. But we're going to move on into what I think it's going to release and what the launch titles are going to be. I believe it'll either release May 30th or June 6th. For $399. I believe the launch titles are going to be Mario Kart 6, Black Ops 6, and Doom the Dark Ages for the headliners. I think id Software wants to come out the gate kicking like they did with Doom Eternal because they've supported the Switch forever. Black Ops 6, Microsoft has to put Black Ops on the Switch, and then Mario Kart 9 is just a no-brainer for a launch title. It'll run off the shelves. But that's been all for my Switch predictions. Sorry it wasn't longer, but honestly, I can't really say what's going to happen. Lobotomized Logan out.